Now we're going to take a look at one of the most popular chord progressions ever used in Western music, and that's the 1 to the 4. Remember when we were talking about the scale, the C major scale? So I'm going to take the 1 and the 4, the 1 and the 4. So the 1 and the 4 chord in the key of C are both major. They'll be major in all keys, but in the key of C, it's going to be a C major and an F major. 1, 4. 1, 4. And there are a lot of songs, tons of songs that have been written using this. For example, you can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. I could play in a bar chord form. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. Or, this goes back since almost the beginning of time. I've been working on the railroad all the livelong day. Or I could slow it down a little bit, do Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. Now that's a little low for me, so I might choose to do my 1-4 in a different key. So in the key of A, the 1-4 is the A to the D. The A is my 1 chord, and the D is my 4 chord. So for example, going back to Amazing Grace. Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. And even I've been working on the railroad all the livelong day. I'm speeding it up a little bit, using some up and down strums in order to create a little bit more variety, still using the same 1 chord, the A, and the 4 chord, the D, which of course I can also play as a bar chord. And what's nice about playing the 1-4 as a bar chord is if the 1 is 6-string rooted and the 4 is 5th string rooted, they're right in the same fret. So it makes for a very easy bar chord change, as bar chord changes go. And I could do this in any key, of course, especially as a bar chord. Let's just slide it down to the key of G. The relationship's still the same. G is my 1 chord, C is my 4 chord. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. I can play it in the open form. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. Let me speed it up a little bit for another tune. Same chords though, 1 and 4. I ain't too proud to beg, sweet darling, please don't leave me, don't you go. Or Van Morrison, oh, domino, Romeo over Romeo, there you go. Now, I had to adjust the melody on that because I can't sing that high, so I might want to change the key for domino. But many songs have been written like this. Angel of Harlem, Angel of Harlem. I could speed up the tempo. Maybe from a strumming point of view, what I could do is hit my bass notes and then strum the chord. Bass note, chord, bass note, chord, bass note, chord, bass note, chord, 1 chord, the G, 4 chord, the C. Lady Madonna, children at your feet, wonder how you managed to make ends meet. And he changes chord there. Or I could do some stop time with that, something like darling, you got to let me know, should I stay or should I go? Again, just the 1 and the 4 chord. There I'm playing the open positions, but I could certainly do should I stay or should I go? Or I could slow it down a little bit. I'm feeling alright, not feeling too good myself. Although I'm still doing that bass note strum, couple bass notes and a strum. And that gives me a different feel. Let's see, another 1-4 progression in the key of E that's so commonly used. E to A. E to A. E is my 1 chord. E major. A major is my 4 chord. I can't get no satisfaction Start Me Up in the Stones mood. So there are a lot of things you can do with the 1/4 chord. And there are a lot of variations that you can do on it too, which we're going to talk about. But the 1 and the 4 is such a staple in music. It's so important that you learn it and learn it in different keys and with your bar chords. You're going to be using it a lot. So have some fun with it. And remember, when you're getting a groove going, I'm just doing these by ear and by memory. It may not be exactly the way that they played it, but the idea is to capture the feel. So with those types of picking techniques or strumming techniques, you'll be able to capture the feels of these songs a lot more easily, just even using your ear and filing back in your memory a little bit of how you last heard the song.